Just Hockey Show. I'm the Trev. Sweet. Anyway, last division, and probably the easiest one. No, I'm not rocking a Kraken jersey just yet. I don't have one. I haven't seen one on the Pro Hockey Life site yet, and I'm not going through NHL.com. So I'll wait. It's all good. But either way, we're talking about the Pacific Division, and I'm going to give you my attempt at predicting the division results for the 21-22 NHL season. So why wait? Let's keep going. So outside your top two and your bottom two, spots 3 through 6 can interchange in any direction, I think. And I say 1 and 2 because 1 and 2 are pretty much unanimous, I think, in a lot of people's minds. And really, I don't know how much of that's going to change. Because I think your top two, your bottom two, are pretty much set in stone at this point. But who am I to decide, right? Either way, here's my attempt at predicting the division. Sorry, Ducks fans. I'm calling it. Ducks are finishing last in the league, points-wise. Two good things are going to come out of the Ducks season. John Gibson is going to play like John Gibson can play. And Trevor Zegras is going to make a huge run for Rookie of the Year, in my opinion. Other than that, any team coached by Dallas Eakins is going to stink. And I'm also calling it, he'll be your first coach fired this season. And if he's not your first, he's definitely in your first 5, if it goes to 5 coaches. But it's going to be a long year in Orange County. But hopefully, going into next season, it'll be worth it. That's the hope, right? For San Jose, I can't decide which is worse. The fact that they're going to go through an active rebuild, or the fact that they have a headache on the team named Evander Kane. Now, I'm not saying anything bad or plagiarizing towards Evander Kane. I'm not jumping on any wagons or anything like that, but the longer he's under investigation by the league, the longer it hurts the Sharks, and especially a team that's already said they'd like to see him off the team. But going in net has got to be the biggest question mark of them all. With Martin Jones gone, and with Devin Dubnyk as your number 1, what exactly are you expecting to happen here? Like, it's going to be a frustrating year in San Jose, I think. Aiden Hill, not Devin Dubnyk, Aiden Hill. It's going to be a frustrating year in San Jose, and hopefully this rebuild of theirs doesn't last very long. What they lose out of this rebuild is the big question, right? See, for Calgary, it's not a question of how bad are they going to be. It's a question of how far down the ladder can they go. And I'm only thinking 6th as a kindness to them. I think they're going to be in for a rough season this year. And it's not because they lost Giordano. That's not the case at all. I think they've been expecting that blow for some time. It's more, how are the younger players going to react to Daryl Sutter? How are they going to fall in line with his coaching system? Are they going to fall in line with his coaching system? These are all questions that need to be asked. But losing Giordano obviously does hurt their defense a bit. But I don't think it's going to hurt them in the long run. And if they do miss the playoffs this season, it won't be that way next season. I'm picking that right now. Fifth. And as I said in my predictions video, missing the playoffs by that much by a couple of points. Obviously, playoffs has to be the expectation in Seattle. And it's not, won't be for a lack of effort. They'll definitely give it the push. And it's not to say the team isn't built well, because it is. I mean, right from top to bottom, I mean, your net isn't a question mark at all. So that's the beauty of it. It's just Vegas set the bar so high. You have to put that kind of an expectation, right? And I hope I'm wrong. I hope they do make the playoffs. I really do. But it'd be a fun first season to watch. That's for damn sure. Either way, look for great things to come out of Seattle this season and beyond. Yeah, I'm picking the Kings over the Kraken. What am I thinking, right? They've made some good moves, and playoffs has to be now or never. Well, at least as far as having veterans like Doughty and Dustin Brown on the team still. I mean, who knows how long they'll stick around for, if they'll stick around beyond this season. Hard to say. But picking up Philip Deneau is a great move. Re-signing Cal Peterson essentially just says, hey, that's the heir apparent to Jonathan Quick. So what happens to Quick this season is another question mark. Either way, I think it's time for the Kings to actually start making some moves and actually making their way to the playoffs. I mean, Lizotte should come into his own, as should Iafallo. Kopitar is not done, not by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, picking up Arvidsson out of Nashville was a good move. Picking up Athanasiou, it'll definitely help their bottom six. All in all, I think it's a team that's ready to make the playoffs, at least make a return to the playoffs anyways, and hopefully make some damage. Obviously for Vancouver, the biggest change is they got rid of Louis Eriksson and picked up an Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Good or bad, the jury's still out, but it's a move they made, and it's a move they can be happy with, I'm sure. I mean, getting Eriksson off the books is never a bad thing. Picking up Halak as your backup goalie is not a bad thing at all. As I'm recording, Pedersen and Hughes aren't re-signed, but that's not going to take long for them to re-sign, and watch it be their coming out party offensively as far as production is concerned. And I mean, it's going to be enough to push them to a playoff spot. I mean, losing Holtby was not a bad thing at all, because Holtby was just not fitting in with the team at all. But expect them to make a run, I think. And I'm sure a lot of the experts have Vegas winning the Pacific Division, but this isn't the same Vegas team that I think was competitive at its whole. I mean, they got rid of Cody Glass, they got rid of Marc-Andre Fleury, and they got rid of Ryan Reeves to bring in Nolan Patrick and Evgeny Dadonov, as well as Sven Berchi. So ultimately, the Pacific is theirs to lose, and I think they're losing it. I mean, the team is still relatively intact from what it's been the last couple of years. I mean, you still got your Marchessaults, your Stevensons, your Paciorettys, and your Pietrangelos. So ultimately, it's going to be the same kind of winning combination. But I don't think it's going to win the division. Just my thought. I'm not saying this just because I'm in Edmonton. I despise the Oilers. If you know me well enough, you'll know my thoughts on the Oilers. But you got to think, with McDavid coming off a near 2-point per game average last season, can he replicate that? And if so, will it be over 2 points per game on average? Be a fun thing to see. Yes, they lost Bear. Yes, they lost Larson. Yes, they lost Caleb Jones. But they brought in Duncan Keith. That's got to be something, right? And once they fix that goaltending issue, they might actually be a threat. But I think until then, the only threat they are is to the division. And they're probably winning this division. Between McDavid and Draisaitl alone. If Yamamoto stays put and makes the team and does well, if Puljujarvi can put up that first round pick number that is expected of a first round pick, they'll be scary good. But as far as a threat, not yet. So that's the last of my division predictions. This is another one of Chet's Hockey Shows. Well, thank you for tuning in. Don't think I don't appreciate the gesture, especially if you're here. It's a great thing for both of us. Just keep this momentum rolling. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. It helps us both. So it's a great thing. If you want to, that little red button that says subscribe, hit that thing. I wouldn't say no. I'd appreciate it a whole bunch. And subscribe makes you feel good. And we're 18 away from 100. Let's make that happen. All my socials, they're in the description down below. Moving forward, I have no more division predictions, so whatever comes up next is whatever comes up next. But either way, in the meantime, and in between time, be looking for more videos from Trev. Later.